Hey everyone, and welcome to day 11 of our yoga journey into 30 days of yoga. Today we're focusing on releasing fear, and we're going to embody that by focusing on balancing and maybe a few opportunities for arm balancing as well. Where can we move beyond it and where can we use it? Let's find out on our mat today. Let's begin in Sukhasana. And then once found, allow your eyes to close. Taking that time to bring your hands halfway in between your knees and your hips so that you can open the chest. Finding your breath moving in and out through your nose. Root down through your sitting bones and lift up through both sides of your waistline, through your front and back rib cage. Shoulders drawing onto your back. Feeling that lift through the crown of your head. You can turn your palms up in this gesture of receiving as you ask yourself, what is your relationship with fear been? When has it been a friend? When has it been a foe? When did you learn valuable lessons? And now, when is it paralyzing you now? Perhaps it's easier to think of something very physical like your physical yoga practice. There are asanas that are not appropriate, especially at the beginning of your yoga practice. Where are you still holding back? Where do you need to hold back? And that's okay, but where have you gotten stuck in this mindset that you can't just fill in the blank? When you know that you're so much stronger that you could, you're just used to not even trying and knowing the difference. Fold your hands together in front of your heart and choose whatever came to your mind as your intention for this practice. Now release your hands down to your thighs, gently open your eyes, and let's begin standing in Tadasana at the front of our mats. Right away, challenging our fear of standing on one leg. So, Vrksasana, stand on your left leg, lift your right leg in the air, place the right foot somewhere to the inside of the left thigh. So your left thigh is drawing back into the hip socket. Sitting bones are drawing down into the earth as you're lifting your front and back ribs up. Now let's move our arms any way you want. So you're not getting so stuck. Letting that movement work for you, the natural movement that is part of balance. Into that natural movement, find the stillness. Bring your arms still somewhere, doesn't matter where they are, but find them no longer moving. Steady gaze at one thing that's not moving. Set that leg down and come to the other foot. So stepping down through the right leg, lifting up through the left, placing the foot, and let your arms move, however they want to move. There's no right or wrong, and nobody's judging. Sometimes people find this easier, so they can find their balance by moving their arms around. Now bring your arms to stillness wherever you want them. They can be in front of your heart, out to the sides. What works for you today? Lower your arms, lower your leg, find Tadasana, and find that separation from the center of your pelvis, drawing down the legs into earth, and from the pelvis, drawing up the upper body, up to the sky. Join your legs together, Utkatasana, but first, bend the legs, hips go back, arms out in front of you to start. Get steady, strong there. See if you can sink deeper into the legs, lift the chest more. Now lift your arms up. Exhale, lower the arms down, straighten. Take a breath. And again, Utkatasana, sink down, arms out in front of you to start. Sink deeper. Arms overhead. Stay here, just shift your weight to the right. Shift your weight to the left. And find center, shifting to both feet. Exhale, straighten the legs, but this time bow forwards. Hands to something steady, like the floor, your legs, something. Then step your left leg back, left thigh bone down. Low lunge. And from here, if you choose, lift your left foot off of the ground. So energetically pulling that left knee forward, intensifying the stretch to your edge. So you're keeping yourself safe, but at the same time, you're not just backing off for no reason. And then bringing that left foot down and switching sides. So let's go like this. Step the left leg forward, bow. Now step the right leg back, stretch. perhaps intensifying the stretch by lifting right foot up. Downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, Sphinx pose. So put your forearms underneath your shoulders. Turn your thigh bones in, draw the legs down into the floor. And then out of that, as you root down through the pelvis again, lifting up through the crown of your head. Exhale, lower down. Now that was a nice steady base. Here's more narrow base. Just bring the hands underneath your shoulders for Bhujangasana, Cobra. Same thing with the legs. Inhale, lift your chest up. Find the bottom tips of your shoulder blades. Draw them together. Lift your heart. Head follows heart. Exhale, down. And then stretch it out in downward facing dog. Choosing for yourself to either step your foot between your hands or come down onto your knees and step your right foot. It's your right foot we're doing between the hands. Start in a high lunge, lengthen through the crown of the head and back through the tailbone. Now bring the left knee down to the ground. Hands find your right thigh. And now option, this is a lot of balance. So if you need to grab onto something to help your balance, you can do that. Lift your back foot off the ground and you might stay here because this next one could be hard. So reach back with the left hand. Grab either the outside of the foot, or if you can grab it, take the inside. So thumb goes pointing up. Reach back, grab the foot from the inside. Hands wrap around the top of the foot, the elbow swings up to the sky. Then you're taking your ribs left to right. So this is another type of balancing, and a lot of things go running through your head. What thoughts are you having? What feelings? Creating for yourself that safe yet challenging experience. Release the foot gently and then come back down to downward facing dog and left leg forward. Right foot down, right knee down. Lift the right foot up. No, lower it down. Let's bring the hands to the left thigh first. Then you can focus on, okay, I'm strong in the lower body so that I can easily just lift the right foot up. Either grabbing hand outside, or if you can, thumb points up again, grabs the inside. Bringing that heel as close to the outer right hip as you can. Ribs turn right to left. That's your work. And then gently release. Downward facing dog. Walk your feet forward. Inhale up halfway. And exhale, fold it in. Inhale, take your hands to your hips and rise up to standing. Take a wide stance. Right foot turns in slightly, left foot turns out a lotly. So we're eventually going into Ardha Chandrasana, and an option for Ardha Chandra Chapasana, and that's half moon, or you're going to stay either there or in Trikonasana. If you have not done Ardha Chandrasana or half moon pose before, maybe skip it for today, because there's other sequences that we have that break it down and make it more accessible. So inhale, arms out to the sides. Exhale, left hand down, right arm up. Trikonasana. And you can be very happy here. If you wanted to play with this, but you're not ready to go up, that's another option. So you keep everything the same, in other words, hips-wise. The hips are going to stay right where they are. Just bend the front knee. Take that back foot in a little bit more. Take this left hand. I'm going to walk back so I have more room. Take this left hand, so at a diagonal to the pinky toe, right? And then what you can do is just focus on getting lighter up out of the hips and just lifting that back foot. Get light on that back foot without closing the hips, right? Keep them open and like that. And if you're ready, Ardha Chandrasana. Lift up. So the leg goes hip height. Left hip scoops under. And you go, yay, look. Wait, I'm just standing on one leg. We already did that. What's the big deal? What a difference a plane makes. So if you would like, Ardha Chandra Chapasana, bend the right knee. And you go slow, right? Sometimes we're in such a hurry that we lose it. So slowly reach back with the right hand to grab the right foot. And you're like, where is it? Just feeling your way into where's your edge. And then slowly you push the foot into the hand. Pelvis is coming towards your front body. But your left thigh is externally rotating, spinning out. The trick to coming out is to gently release. Gently, gently, gently. Into Ardha Chandrasana, and then use your abdominals, lifting to bend that left knee and reach the right leg to the floor. Trikonasana. And then inhale up and lower down. Okay, other side. Left foot, right foot. Left foot turns in slightly. Right foot, 90. I'm going to come to the edge here. There you go. Right, Trikonasana to start. Giving yourself that space and time to make sure the hips aren't closing down, right? The longer you stay here, the more you're like, okay, my hips are getting more open. I like that. Keep spinning that right thigh externally so the knee stays in line with this foot the whole time. And then Ardha Chandrasana when you're ready. Bending the front knee. Stepping back foot in, keeping hips open. Then lift the left leg. Strong left leg. Maybe bend the knee, maybe grab hold of it, maybe not. There's a lot about playing right to our edge, but not going beyond it here. We went beyond it if you wanted to in tree pose, and that was more safe. And then release. And when you release the foot, you're not done. Bend the right knee, lift up on your abs as the left foot finds the floor, Trikonasana. And you're like, oh yeah, just like nothing happened. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower the arms and bring the feet together. Tadasana. And from Tadasana, turn to the front of your mat and come into a nice Malasana squat. Strong legs helping you. Arms out in front of you. Hands in prayer. Okay, so here's the thing. This might be unavailable to you, and you may have to make adjustments. So let's come up and just go to the front of your mat. And if you need to, you're going to roll it like so. If your heels came off the ground, that means you're going to roll your mat up. And then you're going to sit heels on the mat, take them wherever they need to be, parallel, and then come back down into your squat, arms to the inside, hands in prayer, and lift up. And you can very happily stay here for a while. Happily for some of you, for the others of you, you might not call this exact happiness. The happiness may come when we come out. And then Uttanasana, straighten the legs, bow forwards. If you rolled your mat up, unroll it. And now walk back so that you're more in the middle-ish of your mat. And hands on the floor. So if you need to bend your knees, then do that, because the hands are going to be on the floor no matter what. Bending the knees, let your heels lift this time. Heels lifted. Now, bring your big toes together and take your knees wide. Arms are on the inside of the legs, so we're clearly setting up for Bakasana, great asana to epitomize the idea of fear. Okay, so first, see if your body allows you to come onto your forearms. All right, so on your forearms, you're super close to the ground, right? And what you want to focus on is taking those outer thighs, squeezing the upper arms, and then shifting your heart literally forward and literally back. Head stays lifted, heart stays lifted, forward and back. That's you're just getting the action of forward and back and not down, right? You're thinking about forward. So you can see how there's a lot of fear that's going to come if you think about lifting the feet. And yet when you think about it, your head is not that far away from the earth. So you say, okay, that is a valid fear. My head could hit the floor. But on the other hand, it's not that far away. And if you're really worried about it, you could grab a blanket or something and put it right here so that your head has someplace soft to go. Okay, now come up onto your hands. So just like Sphinx and Cobra, now we don't have the steady as a base, but we have a lot more freedom. Okay, now, tailbone goes down, low ribs pull in and go up towards the spine. And you might stay here today. Just play with your edge of your fear, right? and shift your weight forward and shift your weight back. That blanket's there if you need it. If you're ready, lift your feet. If you're not, don't. You could be very happy just shifting forward. Get that sense of being shifted forward, of being light in your back body, and not being in a hurry to get up. So I'm giving you enough time. When you're ready, lower down, come down onto your knees, and go into child's pose. Kind of a similar shape. Stretch your arms out. In this quiet space, nice to reconsider what came up for you emotionally. Sometimes we've taught ourselves to shut down those voices and ignore. So now this is our opportunity to reopen those lines of communication. Listening to what are we thinking really? What are we feeling really? Draw your hands back underneath your shoulders and then lift yourself up. And let's come down onto our backs. Once you get there, knees are bent, feet are flat. And then cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Just a nice little hip opener here. And if you'd like a little more, then you could take your hands to your shin, left shin, draw it in. If that's too intense today, then keep the foot on the ground. It's okay. Now take your right knee and draw it into your chest. Take your hands behind your hamstring, right hamstring. Stretch your right leg up to the sky. Maybe straighten the left leg. And then bend the right knee back into the chest. Both feet flat on the floor, switch sides, cross left ankle over right thigh. Knee to chest. Or keep the leg down, your choice. And then hands grab the left hamstring, knee to chest, and then straighten the left leg up to the sky, and perhaps straightening right leg. And now draw your left knee into your chest, your right knee into your chest. Roll yourself up into a little ball. Squeeze every muscle in your entire body. And then release down for Shivasana. You may choose to stay here longer or begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle toes, fingers, roll ankles, wrists. Inhale, point your toes, stretch through your arms. Exhale your arms back down by your sides, bending your knees. Roll onto your right side. Pressing yourself up to sitting. Closing your eyes. And fold your hands together in front of your heart. I invite you at the end of practice today to figure out, to just think about what changed between you and your relationship with fear. Where did you have a breakthrough, big or small? Today, we didn't do the flushing, the releasing that we've done every other day. Instead, approaching it a little different. It's not always releasing fear. It's not always about letting it go, but rather moving past it. Once it's served its purpose, when there's too much of it, it's no longer serving us. So exploring the boundaries of when fear is working for us and when it is no longer. A journey that continues. For now, thank you so much for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you very soon, maybe tomorrow. Namaste.